So let's go ahead and take a look here. We've terminated an employee. The employee has left, but we still want to maintain access to their files and email. Now, we're not looking at the ethical reasons to do this. In most organizations, the employee was part of the organization and they have all rights to emails and files. But whatever that is, I'm just going to show you how to do it technically. So stay tuned. We're going to jump right to it. We're going to use screenshots today for this example because we're going into the admin portal. And I don't like going into the admin portal. It just takes me a lot of time to erase PII information. So it's probably the easier way. So the first thing you want to do is open up a browser and go to admin.microsoft.com, number 1 here, and select reset password. Remember that you can either do it this way or you can open up admin.microsoft.com and select number 3 users, or you can go to your drop down that will appear here and there'll be an admin. You can click on there. Lots of ways to get there, get to the admin console. Next thing we want to do is search for the user. So remember, this is the user that you are that has been terminated or has left the organization. This is that user. Okay, now there are lots of ways to do this. This is kind of a down and dirty, easy for small organizations to do. So here, I'm just going to type in the user's name. In this case, it happens to be sample user. And I type in their name, I select them, and I select that user. Then I go in here and I select and I add a new password. What this is going to do is any password that they're logged in with, it's going to automatically not work anymore. Now, if they're logged in currently to the system and they haven't rebooted, it will take time for it to reprompt. Depending upon the organization, it may be a few hours or a few days. So there are other ways to force them off. I can show you how to do that in another video, but today we're just going to reset their passwords here. By default, this will be selected for you to change and automatically. We just password. We're going to write that password down and make sure we remember it because we're going to sign in as this user, Sam user at, and whatever the domain name is with this password. So write this information down on a piece of paper. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to use Chrome. And the reason why we're using Chrome, you can see I have multiple profiles here. I have access to half a dozen different Office 365 environments that help people with their Office 365 stuff. Here, Chrome does a great job of separating those credentials. So you don't want to use your own personal profile because then when you go in, it's going to always say, well, do you want to log in as this user or that user? Save yourself the headache. Just select add here and use Chrome. If you're not using Chrome today, download Chrome and use it. Now, can you do this in Microsoft Edge? Yes, but it has been my experience that it does not separate the credentials as well. Chrome really does a great job. So create this. We're going to walk through doing that real quick. We're just going to say continue without an account. You don't need a Gmail account in order to do this. So let's go ahead and create that. We're just going to put in the name of the user here. And that user is going to appear, oops, Daisy. That user is going to appear here, right? So sample user is going to be there. I'm going to select yellow and I'm going to hit done. Then I'm going to go to that Chrome instance. Notice it's yellow. That's the one we picked. We're going to open it. We're going to open up office.com and we're going to sign in. Now, once we sign in, then we're going to enter their credentials, enter their password, hit sign in, and now we'll be able to act as that user, see all their email and files. Now, one gotcha. If this user has multi-factor authentication on their user account, it might prompt you for the multi-factor authentication means. If that's the case, you need to see another video on how to deselect the multi-factor authentication, put that person into an exemption area. They don't get prompted for multi-factor authentication, or just remove it for that one user. But you'll have to see other videos on how to do that. So that is basically how we're going to remove a user and then create a Chrome account to capture its profile.